Hello and welcome to the Grianaig Creations Podcast. My name is Kirsty and I am coming to you from the west coast of Scotland, United Kingdom, and this is episode 60. You can find me on Ravelry as little-b. You can find me on Instagram as Grianaig_Creations, and you can also find the Ravelry group under Grianaig Creations Podcast. Thank you so much for coming to join me for another episode of my podcast. Today we have quite a few things to go over, and to throw in a wee spanner in the works, I do have a spinning finished project to show off, so that is something. Today is Easter Sunday, so happy Easter to those that celebrate, happy Bunny Day or just happy Chocolate Day. Today is also my friend Ellen's birthday and also my friend Julie's birthday, so I'd like to send out a huge happy birthday to both of them. I hope you are enjoying it as much as you can given the current circumstances. Yeah, that was a lot to say in the first minute, and for once I actually remembered where to mention where you can find me. So I may as well start off with a wee tale of how I started my Sunday. I feel like I've done 100 things but I've achieved nothing. Not sure how that works, but hey ho. So I actually started my day with a mini egg hunt. My mum had hidden some chocolate eggs around the house and some plastic egg containers with chocolate inside it, and I went around like a child would do and found as many of the eggs as I could. There was only one I couldn't find and my mum went hunting for it, and then I ended up finding it. So is that, as much as that might sound childish considering I'm 30 years old, it was actually really good fun and it was just quite light-hearted and I really did actually enjoy it. So yeah. I am lucky that, given the times we're living in, that I do live with my parents, so it was really good to spend my morning with them and doing something like that. Yeah, and also I got chocolate for breakfast. We all had chocolate for breakfast because we all shared it. Sorry, just noticed a cat here in my top. So it was really, really good fun, just quite light-hearted, and at the end we got chocolate, so win-win. I'm just looking at everything I've got there and wondering where I should start. I had a small cast on party during the week and there's a few things I still want to cast on, so there's quite a lot to my side. I'm going to actually start with the finished objects because this also lets you guys know that there is a new pattern coming out, not by me, but by my friend Rosie of Pixel Atlantis. She has designed these beautiful Flora T-bar Slippers. So there's a detail here. So these are really, really beautiful. The pattern is not out yet, but I will let you know when they have been released. This is the first pair I have made. My mum got a slightly modified pair, in which she's actually just going to wear it as socks and not slippers. So yeah, this is knit, excuse me, this is knit using, oh gosh, I should know this. I am thinking, Queen of Pearls, Citadel DK. Look at me knowing that, like, not off the top of my head, but knowing it, not having to look at something. So these are really, really beautiful. I haven't done, she has another version where there's some lace work just along here, and I haven't knit those ones yet, but I do want to. And I really want to make like several pairs of these so that I can wear them like throughout the week. I really like this colour. It's not everyone's colour because it is quite pea green colour, but I do like it and I think they make phenomenal slippers. So these are my first finished object. I know I have a bottle of it somewhere, but I might put some anti-slip stuff on the sole because most of our house is laminate or hardwood flooring, so it can be quite slippy, so I don't really want to risk falling, so that might be on the cards. So there's a second one. So that's my first finished object. I do have another pair, like I said, I did make my mum a pair, but she has them tucked away somewhere, so I'm not gonna go get them out of wherever they're hiding. My other finished object has a bit of a backstory. So I'd heard of this challenge going around, like it was all being done officially through Ravelry groups and all this jazz, and set dates and having to post pictures to prove that you've done it, but I wanted to do it as a internal challenge, shall we say. And the challenge is to knit a pair of adult socks in 1 week. Now I know when I put my mind to it and I only work on one project, I can get a pair of adult socks done in less than a week. And so I was just like, right, okay, let's prove it to myself, only to myself, that I could do this. So I started the socks on a Monday. I started them about, it would have been about 1:30 in the afternoon, because I started it on my lunch break. And these are the finished results. So you might notice a slight difference in this colour, and you'll notice it again on the heels, and then you'll notice it again on the toes. So I did get them done in just under a week. I would have got them done in definitely under a week if I didn't pick up the test knit, but I got so excited about the test knit that these just went out the window for 2 days. So I could have got these socks done in 5 days, but I wanted to work on the test knit. So back to the contrasting colours. Whatever the colour I've used here, I've then used on the toe, and then I've used it in the heel on the second sock, and the colour that I've used here I've used in the toe, and then I've used in the heel of the second sock. So that's how I've done it. And these are the scraps from my Fire Nation shawl that I knit. So these are the yarn Badger, and if you seen the previous episode where I showed off the yarn, it was 5 50-gram skeins in a slight fade colourway, and the fade colourway was called Sachet Away, because who doesn't love a bit of RuPaul? So yeah, I was just using up scraps. I had kept this one as a full 50-gram because I wanted it as socks, and then I was just like, right, I've still got so much of these two, let's see if I can put them in the socks. And I still actually have leftovers. I'm probably just going to put them into my scrappy blanket, to be honest, because I really don't want to be dealing with a whole ton of ends to do some scrappy socks. And I know I'd have the same amount of ends in my scrappy blanket as I would my socks, but for some reason there's a different mental block behind that. Let's not, try and examine that. So yep, ends are still to be woven in. I am weaving in my ends nowadays, so these have just been sitting because I just got such cast-on-itis that it's unbelievable. So yep, 1 pair of socks, 2 slippers, which is awesome. And then my next one I'm so over the moon about, so over the moon. Ends have still to be woven in, but I did just cast it off yesterday. And it's my new cat hat. I'm so unbelievably happy with this. I'm going to block it and see if I can just get a wee bit of extra length to it. I could undo the bind off, but just to see if I can get it down past my ears. That's it sitting right at the bottom of my ear now. I'm hoping if I just block it a wee bit that I'll be able to have it sit really quite nicely at the bottom of my ears. I'm really happy with it. It is hand spun yarn. I did not spin it. I bought this. So my memory card was full, so it cut off, and I did notice really quickly. And then I recorded about 20 minutes for my camera to then say auto power off, and then I was just like, right, okay, where did it finish? So I went on to watch the clip back, and it wasn't there. It was saying it couldn't be played. So I've just gone and put my memory card into my laptop, and right enough, there is no footage of the last 20 minutes. Some would take this as a sign not to keep recording, but I'm going to keep recording because I don't have Monday off work, and the next time I could probably sit down and record in good light is next weekend, and I don't want to do that. I want to record this weekend. So we're going to keep going, and if it fails one more time after this, we're giving up. So, as I was saying, the yarn is from Kathy's Knits in Edinburgh, and I got this on one of my many trips through to the gluten-free bakery that is through there, that Scott and I go to all the time. I say all the time. We go through every 2 or 3 months, or we were going through every 2 or 3 months. And I really, really love this hat. I am so happy I knit it. I'm so glad I've done the knit along. And for those that don't know, we have the GC Kat Hat along, cat with a K, and this is for a brioche style hat that looks like a pair of cat ears. It's a bit of a bummer knowing that my camera has pretty much deleted the last 20 minutes and I can't remember everything of what I said, and I probably said a lot of good stuff. I have a lot of yarn left over, and I am going to make my mum her own hat because she really, really loved the finished one I've got, and I've got a lot of yarn, so I may as well make a second one. Depending how much I have left over from that one, I might make my sister one, but I don't know. I haven't asked if she'd like one. So I brought the tag through, I just don't know where I put it. I thought I brought it, there it is. So the tag isn't much to go on, and I don't want, like, there's an email address and then there's a Ravelry username. I'm going to cover up. This is the tag for the hand spun that I purchased. So there's no business name, nothing like that at all. Like I say, there's literally just an email address and a Ravelry username. And I haven't looked at the Ravelry username, like I haven't actually gone on to Ravelry and put this username in. I might do that later on today. But yeah, the grey is my own hand dyed. It is a fingering held double, whereas this is definitely more towards the chunky side. I originally thought it was a DK, but it's definitely more chunky than DK, especially in certain places. So the two go really well together, but when it comes to weights of yarn, they are different. Well, obviously this is fingering, this is definitely not, but when you hold fingering weight double, it's still not quite what this weight is. But I'm still really, really happy with the finished result. I'm loving how it's striped, and I think it just looks really great on, and I want all my hats to be a Brioche Kat hat from now on, because it's just stinking cute. I could wear this all day, every day, and not get bored. Oh, tuggy hair. Okay, so that's technically my third finished object, but there is a second pair of slippers, so it's my fourth finished object. We're going to pop it over here because we're running out of room. Gonna take a swally. Oh, that's loud. That's really loud. Okay, so next we're going on to works in progress, just realised I'm moving the camera. Apologies for the dragging needle noises. Not the nicest noise, I know. So next we're on to works in progress. I, in my wonderful wisdom, decided to have a cast-on party. I got a serious case of cast-on-itis and I just wanted to make all the new things, and I didn't care how many or what it was I was casting on. I just knew there were several things I wanted to cast on. Brioche Hat was included. So on Wednesday night I finished work. No, that's not right. On Tuesday night I finished work, and that was when I first started having the cast-on-itis. And I looked through all my stash and decided what I was going to make and what yarn I would need, and this is the end result. And all the yarns just made me want to cast on so much quicker. And so I had a cast on party live on Instagram on the Wednesday night. When I cast this on, it didn't go to plan very easily, because it was 2 colours and I was just like, oh my gosh, people are watching me, I'm going to fudge this up so badly. So I cast on like 2-3 rows maybe, and then I put it down for the rest of the Instagram live. I then picked it back up when I was on the phone to Scott's. So I got about from here to this stitch marker done on the phone to my partner, and then I put it down. Now, because I didn't want to work on it because I have this system in place where I only work on 1 project a day. I'm going to hold the needles. So I only work on 1 project a day because that way I get a lot of work done on it. And so Thursday was not the day to work on it. Thursday, what did I work on Thursday? Don't know. But Friday I worked on the next project, or no, you'll see it, I'll tell you when I get to it. Friday I worked on the Ursa, and then yesterday I picked this back up, and I got from stitch marker to where I am all done. So I'm really happy with, because I wasn't knitting all day. I went out a walk, I was sat in the garden, albeit I took my knitting down into the garden. Played a bit of Animal Crossing on my Nintendo DS, 3DS, because I don't have a Switch. Yeah, so I wasn't working on it all day, but I got a good chunk of work done on it for the time that I did do. There's one wee error, and you can see it right between my eyes. That wee sticky up bit is where I didn't put the yarn to the back of my work, or to the front of my work, sorry, and slipped the last stitch. I ended up knitting it. So thankfully it is on an edge, so it's either going to be in section 2, yeah, it's going to be in section 2, so that can be hidden, no problem, and it's certainly not worth ripping back for. To be fair, I did notice it when I was about here, so this is the bump here. And I did notice it about here, and I could have ripped back really easily or dropped a stitch down, but I was just like, you know what, it's going to be in the pickup for section 2, so it's going to be disappearing anyway. So I was definitely not going to rip back. And I just want to show off my wee stitch marker. It's adorable. I love it. It's from Yarnistry. So I'm going to keep holding the needles so they don't make such a racket. So this is my colour A, which is Art Fill on the Bell base, but in the confetti colourway. As you can see, there's a lot of neon yellow and pink, don't know why I said green, well, yellowy green. And some splashes or speckles of purple with some orange and a wee bit of blue. Okay, there's a wee bit of green, but it's more neon yellow. And I love it. I really love it. And shockingly enough, this was actually in my de-stash box. So I was trying to get rid of this, and I've ended up using it, which is awesome. And then my colour B is Undine in the Ophelia base. And on the previous recording I did read the story out that's on the wee bit of paper, but I'm not going to on this one, and I do apologise for that, but I did have quite a time getting the tag back in, and I'm not going through that all over again. So this is my colour B, and it's got a grey base to it, and then more of the neon yellowy green and some black or grey, like darker grey. Definitely black, but it's kind of muted down to a grey in certain spots. And it just goes, the two go really, really well together. And I feel like my yarn choices in general are actually really good this time. I'm not great at putting colours together. And I picked 4 out of the 5, and then I had my dad help me with the 5th one, because the 5th one is as solid hand-dyed yarn can be, so more of a tonal, I guess. And I just wanted one that was a solid colour, so I wasn't quite sure what to go with, so my dad helped me with that one. So I got 4 chosen by myself, and you'll see those more as the project commences, or in the photo that I've put in previously. And I'm just really, really happy. For once, pretty much all my knitting projects make me really happy. There's nothing that I feel I have to work on. Everything I want to work on, which is awesome. So that's my main work in progress. I say main, only because I was working on it yesterday. Excuse me. My next one, I'm going to show off the bag. This is a bag by Jaqueline, and it is awesome. It's a deep but narrow, is that the right word, bag, and perfect for socks. I can roll it down, and it's a drawstring as well, and it's actually just such a good size. Like, I have 2 skeins of yarn in here. I say 2 skeins, one's a ball and one's a ball. One's an actual physical ball, and one is a ball. Sorry, I felt the need to not confuse myself because I said ball and then ball. So this is my project. I love it so much. Makes me so happy, and I think it's the colours. And the project itself is so good. You would think, given the fact there's a pattern and you've got 2 yarns, that it would be quite in-depth and a project you would really have to focus on. And you slightly have to focus when you're working the pattern, but I also feel it's quite mindless at the same time. So this project is the Rainbow Connection Socks by Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. I seen that she was working on this pattern during her podcasts, but more, it was actually more of a day in her life whilst they're in lockdown, and I was just like, oh my god, when that pattern comes out, I need it. So it released on the 1st of April, and I bought it on the 1st of April. I didn't cast it on until like a few days later, but I still needed the pattern. I needed to know I had it. And then when I went yarn diving, that's when I was kind of like, right, okay, this is the yarn I'm going to pair it with. And even though I was next door trying to make sure my memory card had or had not recorded those 20 minutes, I still didn't pick up the tag. This yarn is a self-striping sparkle from Laughing Yaffle in the Unicorn Tails colourway. So I know what yarn it is, I just didn't pick up the tag. And I really, really love this. I've got a few of her self-stripers, and I wasn't 100% sure which one to go with, and I had to get Scott to help me, because a lot are very similar in colour, but at the same time different. And then the black is just a Rico design in the Superba Bamboo Uni Superwash. So it is 50% virgin wool, 25% polyamide and 25% viscose, and there is 420 meters. So plenty to get a pair of socks, because she actually says you only need 50 grams of each colour. So yeah, these haven't been worked on since, I think this is what I worked on Thursday. So these haven't been worked on in a couple of days, and that's fine. I like having my schedule where I only work on one thing a day. Even if it means that I have to go a few days without working on a project that makes me really happy, then it means I'm getting progress on each of my things. So that is that work in progress. And then my last work in progress is in this giant bag, which is one of mine. And it's a cat knitting cats. How freaking cool is that? One's got a scarf on, one's got a jumper. Don't think any of them have socks. They should all have like wee socks on their little paws. Let's see if I can get that done a wee bit better. There's a lot of stuff in this bag, and I thought for a while I'd maybe made a bag that was too big. Nah. So this is the project that I talked about last time, but I didn't really have the yarn band to show off. That is being knit in acrylic yarn. So for those that are anti-acrylic, probably now's the time to turn off. For those that are meh about what yarn you use, keep watching. This is, I'll read it off this one whilst I show it. Heritage Collection Serenity Luxury Yarn in 100 grams. It is 97% acrylic and 3% viscose, and you get 100 meters per ball. And it was $1.99. And this is going to be the Ursa. I've literally just joined for the round. I've got a couple rows before I split for the sleeves. And I'm over the moon with this. It does hurt my hands a wee bit because the needles are a lot bigger than what I'm currently used to. I do a lot of my work on needles are less than 4 mil or less, I should say. So doing them on 6.5s is a wee bit sore on my hands, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't work on it excessively. I take a lot of breaks when I'm knitting on this, but I still love it. It's I'd say it's quite a quick knit, but it's actually not. Taking me a while. But I'm really happy with it. The fabric is not too dense. There's a lot of freedom in this fabric. It's not going to be one of those things that's just going to weigh a ton and just not move with you. I feel like this is going to be really quite light. I say light, like what I have already is not hugely heavy, but it's not so thick that there's not much give and it's too heavy to wear. I know a lot of people chose a bulky that was really quite more of a super bulky, and they've knit it on a really tight gauge and there's just no give. Like, you can still see gaps in this fabric. It's not so thick that there's nothing. Like, if I'm holding that up to the window and I can see so much light through it. It's brilliant. And it's just such a nice, like, speckly, kind of like a tweedy type yarn. And it's got so many different colours in it. It's like got every colour in the rainbow. And it's just going to be awesome. Like, it's really just going to be awesome. So I worked on that on Friday, and I got from about here to here done, and I only worked on this after work. I didn't work on it at lunchtime because I was finishing my mum's slippers, and I didn't stay up late to try and get so much of it done. Like, I would have liked to have got the sleeve separation done before I went to bed, but my sleep was a wee bit more important. I'm going to be that person. Sleep is more important than knitting. So yeah. it's progress in the right direction. Okay. I've got spinning. I don't recall the last time I showed you guys a spinning project. And this spinning project has been on the wheel since July. June or July it's been on the wheel. And it got literally put on the niddy noddy today. I done the plying last weekend, I want to say. And I got it off the bobbin onto the niddy noddy today. I am going to give it a soak today and thwack it and set the twist. Excuse me. Yep, I'm going to set the twist today. Take it off the niddy noddy. Let's see. Oh, that's not bad. That's fairly balanced. It's only twisting a wee bit. But, like, even just there, it just shows all the amazing colours in this project. And I can't wait to use it. Like, I really, really can't wait to use it. It's going to become a weaving project. You can't really see the purple. Where's the purple? Oh, I guess it's under here. It's going to become a weaving project. And it's just going to become a big wrap. And on my Instagram live, Teresa helped me how to remember the warp from the weft. Because I'm not a big weaver. I have a loom. But I'm not a huge weaver. I haven't learned all the terminology. And I forget the terminology very quickly. So warp from weft can trip me up a wee bit. But Teresa taught me that if you think of it as warp speed ahead, that's your warp. You warp your loom. And then this would be my weft. Because it is a gradient, like it will change from either the pink to the teal or the teal to the pink, whichever way you look at the star. So it is going to be a gradient and it is going to just be absolutely epic. Because like there you can see the colour, like it goes from the pink into the lilac, and then it goes into a very pale green. It doesn't go straight to this spring green. It goes into a pale green and then into the bright spring green. And then it goes into another pale kind of blue into, I'd say quite an aquamarine blue. Or a teal. And it's just really beautiful. And this is urchins. I need to check my Etsy to see who I bought them from again. Well, I can't quite remember the name of the shop. Talk amongst yourself, please, folks. Spin Jones. And I've bought urchins from Spin Jones since buying these, but this took me so long that I've not been able to use any of the other urchins. So this is my first lot. And I got 2 packets. And I spun one of the packets on one bobbin and then the other packet on the other bobbins, and then I plied them together. And it created this amazing yarn baby. Because let's face it, that's a big yarn baby. I would say this is a fingering weight. And it's 200 grams, because one packet was 100 grams. So if you spin one, it's 100 grams, and you spin the other, it's 100 grams, that's 200 grams. And the urchins are bat bits. Let's see if I can find my actual purchase and I can jump on and show you. I've bought a lot of urchins from her. I'm just realising that now. Oh no, here they are. Okay, so these urchins were called riffraff pieces, which is remnant fibre. and she says that the material in it was merino, silk and noil. Urchins are little pieces of colourful coordinated riff-raff bats. They've been made with remnant random fibres. Each bag contains a lot of little bat pieces and each bag weighs 100 grams. Each piece of bat is roughly 1/8 of a 50-gram bat. Daydream, which is this colourway, contains merino wool, tussa silk and silk noil and is a gradient of mint, pale green, lilac and pink. So yeah, really happy with it. So glad it's done. I'm going to give it a soak this afternoon. I'll try and take a wee footage of that and show you that process. Then you can watch me thwack it, which is really funny. You just hit it off your bath. Well, that's what I do. And that helps set the twist. You could just soak it and leave it and then hang it. But I like thwacking. Oh, shoot. I said shoot, not anything else. So yeah, really happy with this. It's the size of my head. Oh jeez. Yeah, I put a thing out on Instagram for an AMA. One person asked a question. So that question was from Nilly. So Nilly asked, how are you doing? I'm doing okay. That's the honest answer. I had a bit of a wobble. Well, I had a really horrible dream, which really upset me. And that was something I'm not going to go into here. And I ended up having to wake myself up at like 2 o'clock in the morning because it was so horrible. But then I had a bit of a wobble yesterday because it's been 4 months since I've seen my partner. For anyone that is noticing a lack of a certain something, it broke. My ring broke. It got resized 4 sizes bigger because I got big chunky fingers. And where they had stretched out at the back here, it actually snapped. So not happy about that. Definitely doesn't make the whole not seeing him any easier. But we know it's all for the best. We're both safe, we're both healthy, that's the main thing. And the more we're apart, the more money we save because we're not going out for food. Or going to the cinema or going shopping. So the more money we save now is going towards getting a house when all of this is over and we can finally move in together. So I had a bit of a wobble because it has been 4 weeks since I've seen him. But everything else is kind of like the same for me. I still have my job. I've worked from home for the last year, so that's not changed. I still have a job that I'm very thankful for. I have a roof over my head. I live with my parents, so I get to see them. All my cats are here. So yeah, I am doing okay, but I had a wobble, like a mental health wobble, just because of this. It's so overwhelming. A lot of people have put it a lot more eloquently than me that even if you are an introvert and you are a recluse and you do stay home, that's on your own terms. 100% on your own terms. To then be told not to go out, whole different ballgame. Whole different ballgame. It changes accepting it. So that's been a wee bit difficult for me to accept. I go out my walk, my 1 day thing, my 1 day exercise thing, or my one a day exercise thing. Don't go out every day because I am high risk, but I do go out and it's such a beautiful day today. But it's so late in the day now that a lot of people will be out, so I'm not going to risk it. And I was out in my garden sitting yesterday knitting, which was really nice. So yeah, I'm just trying to get by. Not saying Scott's quite difficult, but it's something we can get through. If you can get through this, you can get through anything. Firm believer of that. And I have got a ridiculous amount of knitting done because I'm not going anywhere. I'm not gonna lie. I have got a ridiculous amount of knitting done because I have all this extra free time from not travelling to his or not knitting when I'm around him, or not constantly knitting when I'm around him. So yeah. So just going to say my goodbyes really quickly because the battery light is flashing at me. But yeah, I'm doing okay. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all staying safe, washing your hands, not being a jerk by going outside where you don't need to. Definitely not going to visit people that you don't live with. All that jazz. You've heard it all before. You don't need to hear it again. But yeah, I hope you're all staying safe, staying well. Please jump into the Ravelry group or message me on Instagram if you feel the need to talk to someone that you don't have already. That sounds really bad, but if you do need to chat to someone, my inbox is always open. And yeah, I'm gonna go tidy up all this stuff because you should see the aftermath of someone recording for a podcast. I am going to go soak my yarn and I am going to thwack that. I'm going to chuck in a few more clips from some things I've done today. And yeah, I will see you on the next time I record. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.